So, you might be wondering, what is the deal with the writer's strike or the actor's strike? So, I'll try to go into a little bit more detail. So first off, the writers went on strike about 2.5 months ago because they were not only wanting to get higher pay, they wanted to increase the number of writers in the rooms. They also wanted specific control over AI tech, and it's some parts of it are not bad, but I would say we don't need more writers in the room. A lot of the times, the more the writer, more writers, the worse the show. Um, as far as the AI stuff, it can be a little scary. Chat GPT and some of these others are getting better and better at writing. They take ideas, like they can scan something and then they can create something. Some people are arguing over how useful versus how not it is. Um, and the whole pay for residuals and stuff, which I'll go into. I saw one of the writers from She-Hulk put up a thing that he got, I think, what, $300 in a residual check, and he was like, "Why am I only getting this much?" Well, here's the problem with that argument. First off, that's a residual. That isn't what he got paid up front. They're just trying to put that one out as a bad faith message. And mind you, I'm not trying to take the side of the studios. I'm not. I'm just going to point out that if you're writing a show that does terrible for ratings, you're not going to be getting as big of a residual, especially if the streaming service that it's put on, like Disney Plus, is actually losing money. So keep that in mind. Some of these writers have very inflated egos. Quite frankly, this is a side where I'm kind of laughing at everyone. I don't want the studios to have carte blanche to do whatever they want, but I don't think the writers deserve as much as they think they want to get. So you put the two things together, and it's like, you kidding me? And then, of course, you have SAG-AFTRA, which I like to call the Film Actors Guild. They have just gone on strike about 2 weeks ago now, and some people don't understand what that means. So, in the short I put up, I talked about how there are shows that'll still be coming out. Those are finished. Anything where the actors are done is, fine. They can't do reshoots, they can't do other things like that. But if it's done and they're in editing, then it can still get put out, which means there still will be new shows. However, that will dry up very soon. So they would have to get shows that don't have actors and don't have writers, which might mean there might be some more reality shows that show up because they pretend like they don't have writers and that everything is real. Those are not. So I saw this story of Mark Ruffalo talking about how all these actors should go do indies. It's like, you're on strike. It doesn't matter if it's an indie thing. If you're part of the union, you cannot act outside of the union. So that means no indies if you're on strike. If they weren't on strike, you can go work and do indies, and there are certain rules that you have to follow, but leave it to Mark not to quite understand. Again, he's a bad take machine, in case you didn't know. And so with this going on, whatever we see on TV right now is what's going to be out. What's coming out on streaming is that they can get content from other countries that aren't part of these two unions. So there might be more shows like, Squid Game, or what is it? Alice in Borderland, I think, is another one. There's a bunch of different shows that have come out. I haven't seen all of them. I did watch Squid Game. And so anything that's American right now is going to put on hiatus because of this strike. And some of it is because they want to get more pay, but there's other things going on. The whole AI thing is the big thing that people are worried about. Especially actors are concerned that they can sign a contract that allows these studios to up and just simply record themselves, like create, like how they used a fake Luke Skywalker, in the show where they basically just edited him, or when they did the Grand Moff Tarkin, that was CG that looked god awful. So these studios are also being kind of despicable, which let's just point out. One of the big things is studio heads tend to make a lot of money. They make a lot of big decisions, so sometimes those budgets are, I guess deserved. But if your company is recording billions of dollars of losses, should the CEO of these companies and studios actually be making that much money? And then, of course, you had recently with, I know Ron Perlman deleted it, but Ron Perlman put out a vague threat. Okay, not really a vague threat, a direct threat to a vague person who was making $27 million. Which, of course, apparently might have been Bob Iger himself. And, of course, Ron Perlman had to delete the video. I mean, at this point now, I'm beginning to think that Ron Perlman's crazier than Gary Busey. Because, I mean, I haven't heard anything about Gary Busey doing or saying anything crazy. I mean, I hope he didn't pass away. I always thought he was a pretty good actor, but I don't know. But anyway, so Ron Perlman had to delete it because it was a direct call of violence against a random person. I don't know if he was forced to apologize, if there's more to it than that, but look, Ron thinks he's a big tough guy, I guess. You don't. I don't really want to get into it, but anyway, so right now they're all on strike. There's no real negotiation. The thing is that there are bad people in every group. It's just that simple. Each group has got bad people that want, there are good people there too that are being affected by this, but that's something to keep in mind. Not everybody is going to get out of this staying in that career. Some people are going to quit. Some writers, some actors, probably some of these studio heads for maybe some of the smaller studios might not continue either. But the longer this goes on, the longer it's going to take for stuff to get back up and running. Any shows that are put on hiatus for the time being are probably going to come back worse, because the last writers' strike, a lot of television shows just fell completely apart when they came back. Remember Heroes, and that first season was incredible, and then everything after the first season started going downhill. It might be like that. So I said in my short, start watching some of the old old television shows that you want to watch that you haven't had the time to see. I just noticed on Tubi they got Babylon 5. So, it's on my list of things to check out. It's been a very, very long time since I've seen Babylon 5. But anyways, have a good day.